Hello and welcome. We begin with a focus on Nigeria, where the country's Borno state in the northeast has witnessed a spate of deadly attacks. In Nigeria's Borno state, 3 blasts took place in the town of Gwoza that lies across the border from Cameroon. At least 18 people have been killed, including children and pregnant women. And at least 30 others have been injured in a string of suicide bombings in the town of Gwoza. Now, the attacks have reportedly been carried out by female suicide bombers. Authorities say in the first attack, a woman carrying a baby on her back detonated an improvised explosive device in the middle of a wedding ceremony. The suicide bombers also targeted a hospital in the same town. The third attack was later carried out at the funeral for the victims of the wedding blast.
I personally lost 3 of my, friends instantly there at that first blast. Thereon, afterwards, some people now started for the funeral of one of the 3 that I lost. At the funeral ground, another one also blasted. Afterwards, as the DG Sema said, because I spoke with him personally, he said they were preparing a rescue mission at the General Hospital Gwoza when another one blasted instantly in the hospital. And there was another one around the hospital, and there's other one in Hausari, making 5, confirmed 5.
Nigerian President Bola Tinubu has condemned the attacks, calling them desperate acts of terror. President Tinubu has vowed stern action against those responsible. So far, no group has claimed responsibility for the attacks. Nigeria's Borno state, roughly the size of Ireland, has been marred by violence for 15 years now. Thousands of people have been killed and millions displaced. Armed groups often carry out deadly attacks against civilians and security forces. Boko Haram and its splinter group, the Islamic State West Africa province, are the most active in the region. Boko Haram has deployed young women and girls to carry out suicide attacks. In recent years, Boko Haram has lost ground, but armed groups have continued attacks. The group seized Gwoza town in 2014. The Nigerian military, however, regained control after a year. The Boko Haram came to be known globally after the April 2014 kidnapping, where it kidnapped more than 270 schoolgirls from the town of Chibok, also in Borno state. Within 2 months of the kidnapping, the group carried out an attack using their first female suicide bomber. Since then, there have been speculations that some of the female suicide bombers may be the missing Chibok schoolgirls. Now, the conflict has also spread to neighboring Niger, Chad, and Cameroon. It has prompted these countries, along with Nigeria, to form a regional military coalition to fight Islamist insurgents. For more on this, we have with us Dr. Samuel Oyewale, who is joining us from Pretoria. He is a lecturer at the Department of Political Science at the Federal University of Oyo-Ekiti, Nigeria, and also a research fellow at the University of Pretoria in South Africa. Welcome to Firstpost.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Doctor, the bombings occurred in northeastern Nigeria. Is there any evidence linking these bombings to existing extremist groups such as Boko Haram? And has any group taken responsibility?
Thank you for having me once again. For now, there is no indicator or indication that a specific group has taken responsibility for this particular attack. However, given the nature, the details of the attack of the suicide bombing, it shows the signature of Boko Haram. This is a kind of attack that has been recorded in the past by Boko Haram. And Boko Haram is famously known as one of the terrorist groups that is that prioritize the use of female suicide bomber, one of the highest use of female suicide bomber globally. In addition to that, authorities have linked the attack, blame Boko Haram for this particular attack as well. However, the group has not officially claimed responsibility for the attack.
Right. How have the local communities been impacted by these attacks, especially considering the involvement of women as suicide bombers in these attacks?
The use of women and young girls in suicide bombing and Boko Haram attack has become a recurrent issue in the northeastern Nigeria. So many people are now familiar with the use of young girls and women, mostly forced to detonate bomb in certain location for the on behalf of the terrorist group. However, the impact on the local community has been significant because initially the idea of a terrorist is that young guys that are involved, radicalized or paid or brainwashed to join the terrorist group. But in recent time, we have seen cases of that change in attitude, whereby young women and girls are now considered as part of the network or the instrumentality of terror in the region. So the changes in the one of the changes that has been recorded in the local community is the perspective or perception of women involvement in terrorism. It has changed from male-dominated campaign of terror to the use of women as instrumentality of terror as well. Again, the idea that stability is returning back to the region has been shaken by this particular event because the idea that has been promoted since 2016 has been that Nigeria is regaining confidence in terms of stabilizing the region, cracking down on the terrorist group, and returning peace to the afflicted region. However, with the recent events, this idea of stability, relative peace that the local community might have enjoyed, or the confidence that might have been developed in the last few years has been shaken with this recent and recurring attack by the terrorist group. Although the government has never truly defeated the group in the sense of ending the terrorist attack, but the
Yeah.
decline in the attack has significantly
Yes.
built confidence over time. But the growing record of attack can actually
Yeah.
challenge that particular optimism.
Yeah, and on that, Doctor, what security measures are being taken to prevent further attacks in the affected region? Considering the severity of the incidents, what is the government's strategy for enhancing security and protecting civilians?
Okay, government strategy has always been to improve security presence by increasing the deployment of troops and other security personnel, the police, civil defense, joint task force, and the multinational joint task force in the region. And with this recent recurrence in the attack by the Boko Haram, that means we are going to witness a significant increase in security presence in terms of checkposts and checkpoints, border entrance, and so on that the community are going to witness due to this recent incident. Again, issue of engagement with the local community, because the security agency cannot do this work alone. Engagement with the local community is very important because knowing or identify terrorists is not quite easy. Unlike insurgent group or guerrilla fighters that will come in groups or in mass to attack a community. A suicide bomber can just be one single person ramming into a crowded place and detonating a bomb. So collaborating with the local community will be very important in this context, especially in identifying strangers and in questioning strangers, as well as deterring possible attack in whatever in the given location. So in addition to that, the local community in terms of the state government, the local government needs to work with the security the security agency as well. So it is a multi-level response from federal government to
Yeah,
the local
multi-level
government
approach.
to build confidence of the community.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for being with us on First Post Africa and for your valued insights on the latest coming out of Nigeria.
Pleasure.
On the show today, the T20 World Cup Bangladesh has moved across to the West Indies. What can we expect